I know this message is finding you in a time when you are sick and tired of being sick and tired. You can no longer have these subconscious beliefs taking over your conscious life, telling you that you are powerless, that you are hopeless, making you feel unmotivated, making anything from the past, any limiting beliefs, low self-esteem, conditioning from the past still hinder you and keep you stuck today. It just isn't working. You've broken free from it. You've broken free from those cages, from those chains, and now you're here raw and ready to dive into your new life and your new way of being, knowing that you have the power, knowing that you are the creator of your life, the co-creator, the creator. It's all one. And you can have whatever it is that is pulling at you, that's been pulling at you. And that's the feeling state you are currently in, where the thoughts that used to make you bed rot all day or not want to even try or go into a void, it's just not working anymore. Even when those thoughts even come up, you quickly are like, oh, well, you know what? I'm still here. I'm still here on this earth. So I might as well make the most of it. And sure, I have gone through so much spiritual awakening and dark nights of the soul, and I understand what this life really is, and I understand what I really am. I am a soul having a human experience. And you went through a time when that made you feel like, again, like in a void where you didn't even really want to care. What's the point of trying to make money? What's the point of trying to do anything anymore? Like, we're going to leave and we're going to be in our real energy, which is just a soul being energy and free and with God. But now it's changed a little. You're realizing you're coming down into earth more. God has pushed you down into earth again and is saying, well, you're still here, and you know that you're meant to have a human experience. So why not have that human experience to the fullest capacity and potential that you can? That's more the thoughts that are coming into your being now. The void, you're out of the void, you're out of all of that limitation, and you can take the knowing of what we really are and make that work to your benefit, where you're much more carefree and having much more fun creating. It's like your soul is watching you and like, okay, well, we're here on earth just meant to have a good time, and let's like see what we can do. Let's see how far we can go, where you're not having those limitations anymore. Your soul is just embedded in you. God is embedded in you now. You've done the work to do that, to get to this state. And now you want to just actually have this physical experience. So the way you're doing that and being guided to do that is really to master into your subconscious, into your energy, into your whole being, that you are the creator, co-creator of your life. And I touched on this a little bit in my last video, where I talked about we're being asked to create from our sacral chakra, everything. Our sacral chakra holds the energy of creation in every aspect. But in the past, we were able to create from our root chakra, from a very masculine energy, and like certain things that we wanted to manifest in relation to abundance, in relation to work, in relation to anything physical, we were able to do so through other energy sources. But now, if you are not harnessing the power of your sacral chakra to do so, then it will not happen. That is what we have come into. That is what we have stepped into, and we are here. And so I will elaborate a little bit more on that. If you are not familiar with what the sacral chakra is, We have a lot. We have thousands of chakras in our energy center, or in our auric field, that connect our physical body to the the energy of the universe, the energy of God, the energies around us, everything, all matter and all non-matter is energy, everything, right? But we have 7 main ones within our physical body that we work with a lot to balance ourselves into this physical 3D world with the power of the spiritual world. The sacral chakra sits right below the belly button, and it, on the physical aspect, it is in relation to our reproductive organs, and on the energetic aspect, that is in relation to creativity in all aspects. So yes, we use that obviously to create actual life on earth, but it's also creating creativity, art, music, creating your own life, connection. It actually is in relation to familial wounds and connection as well. It's the center of all connection, and our first connections in life start with our family connections and what and who we are born into, or who raised us. So it connects with that first, and then it expands out to every connection in your life and how connected you feel to others, to yourself. So the best way to summarize what the sacral chakra is creativity and connection. And there's a lot of other little things that go into it. So signs that you are imbalanced in your sacral chakra, that it's not open, that it's not balanced, that there's something off with it, can range from a few things, from feeling isolated, disconnected, disassociated, lacking creative inspiration or motivation in general, being on autopilot, feeling a loss of control over your life, feeling stuck, like you can't do anything, like you're out of control of it, you have no power over it. You're easily affected by others' opinions of you and others' energy. You have sort of a victim mentality in all aspects, or even just certain aspects, and then any kind of self-doubt and fear in relation to self-doubt, any kind of repression, any feeling of that. If you feel all of that, if you feel some of that, then there is an imbalance in your sacral chakra. And I'm sure if this message is finding you, it probably means that there is an imbalance in your sacral chakra. And when I say that we have to harness the power of the sacral chakra to create and manifest the life we want now, I'm not saying that we don't also take action and still work with the other chakras, still work with the masculine energy, still work with the root chakra to actually do things, to have some discipline, to have a little bit of structure into creating and actually putting outward intentional action into it. But before, you were able to do just that and manifest certain physical things. Now, if you're not also doing it side by side with the more flow aspect, the more creative feminine energy aspect that the sacral chakra holds, then it won't happen. So how do we do that? To balance the sacral chakra, let's touch on that creativity aspect first. So you have these inner callings. We all do. You might say, oh, I'm not a creative person. Sure, that might be true. You might be more analytical naturally, but every single person has some creative pull. And the best way to remember what that is, if you can't seem to tap into it, is to remember what you were naturally drawn to as a child. Because when you're a child and you first come into your body on this earth, it's very pure, your soul is very fresh on this earth, and it's easier to tap into what you're drawn to. And as we get older in our physical bodies, whatever, time is an illusion, we can talk about that another day, but as we grow into these physical bodies and just stay on this earth a little longer, we lose touch with that over time. Some people don't, which is why they call themselves more creative, and some people do, and that's the only difference. So think about what you were drawn to as a child. Was it writing and making up stories and either imagining stories in your head or writing these stories in your head? Was it music and just dancing and making up dances? Was it drawing and painting? Was it anything else that creative? Was it any sort of art form? Was it, I don't know, even like clay and making sculptures, and you were very into that and maybe even good at? Was it building things? Was it clothes and colors and aesthetics? Maybe you don't have to remember what your inner child was drawn to. Maybe you still have that pulling within you and you just have to tap into it. Maybe it's cooking, maybe it's food, maybe it's taste and flavors and all of that. And so the number one thing to do now is to make sure you are giving your that time, that energy time to just create and be present. And don't do it with so much force, like, okay, well, I'm trying to manifest, and so I have to go and create now, so let me dance and let me do this, and then 30 minutes later you're like, all right, is it? No, you need to do it with excitement, with like as if you have all the time in the world, just like when you were a child. You're just doing it for fun. You're just doing it because you want to. You're just doing it because it feels good. You're just doing it because this is what you're drawn to. You're curious. You're doing it with curiosity. You're doing it with being completely present. You're doing it because of love, because you genuinely love it. And maybe it'll take a little bit to remember your love for it, because again, there's been so much conditioning and time from living that freely. But once you do it and you just immerse yourself in it, you just bask in it, it will become something you crave. You'll be wanting to do that more than anything. So that's the number one thing. Make sure you're taking time daily, if you can, if not a few times a week, to just have that creative presence. And then also to expand on the creative aspect, creating your own life. You need to come back to feeling empowered. Of course, our solar plexus mostly holds being our self-empowerment, but your sacral chakra in relation to creating your life and is also where your empowerment comes from. So you need to remember that you are the creator of your life, and energetically shift any kind of victimhood, any kind of feeling of loss of control, any feeling of being repressed, any feeling of being stuck. You need to start changing the dialogue in your mind subconsciously. You can do this through affirmations. You can do this through looking in the mirror and talking to yourself. You can do this just through catching yourself in the moment of like, oh, well, that didn't work out. Why is only bad things happening to me? Why am I so stuck? And then you catch yourself like, wait, that's not how I'm talking to myself. I'll say, well, that didn't work out. That's happening for me. So I can't wait to see what is going to happen for me. Or I'm not stuck. I'm just in pause while things are working out for me. Everything is working out for me. I am creating my life, and I know if I'm creating my life, I'm going to create it to be magnificent. So just start shifting your inner dialogue. And this is a practice, but honestly, within a few days of doing it, you're going to feel the shift, and it's going to keep happening. And you can also obviously do this through meditation. I personally love any kind of hertz healing frequencies. These are the best. Sound healing is the most healing. I personally like to get in my car because you can really feel the vibrations, especially if you tune your sound system really well. You can really feel the vibrations and the frequencies. It's very potent in the car, but you can also use headphones, whatever is accessible to you. And also praying, and if that works for you, just speaking out loud to God in an empowered way, in a I already have it type of way, I already am type of way. And then there's certain foods and think of like foods that are orange. Orange is the color associated with the sacral chakra. So turmeric, oranges, salmon, carrots, things like that. Make sure you're having that daily or weekly to make sure you're feeding the physical aspect of the sacral chakra. And then because the sacral chakra is so connected to emotions, water is emotions. So or should be hydrating a lot anyways, but make sure while you're doing all of this work to balance your sacral chakra, you're also having a lot of water. And then yoga, if you don't do yoga, yoga is one of the best things for balancing all of your energy, to connect the energy with the physical body. It really is, I can't speak highly enough of it. And make sure you're finding a good yoga instructor that actually knows what they're talking about. You will feel the difference when you're actually working through the energy in the physical body rather than just like little stretches and stuff like that. That's not real yoga. You want to do real yoga that expands and opens your energy centers. The second aspect that we touched on a little bit in relation to the sacral chakra is connections and feeling connected. So how connected do you truly feel to yourself? How connected do you truly feel to the people in your life? Now, you may have had a toxic family. You may have had to cut off people from your family, or even from people that were longtime friends. That's completely fine. But you need to ask yourself currently, whoever's in your life that you truly love, who's your support system, who are the people you enjoy life with, who are the people who you vent to or confide in, who are the people who are your safety net, are you truly feeling connected to them? It doesn't mean it has to be perfect. Things with family are never perfect. Heck, even things with friends are sometimes not perfect. But is it true? Like, do you feel safe? Do you feel loved? Do you feel understood? Whatever it means to you to feel truly connected, supported, safe, and seen. Do you have that in your life? It doesn't have to, it's not about quantity, but do you have good quality of that in your life? That is going to really help make sure that the sacral chakra is truly open and balanced. I'm speaking mostly to people that I assume have done a lot of inner child work, have done a lot of healing work already, who understand their past traumas, whatever they may be, in whatever capacity they may be, and have worked through them. But if you haven't done that, then that's where you need to start. Understanding why you are the way you are, understanding all of that. Look into all of it if you haven't started, because honestly, that's where it's going to start. If there's issues in that aspect of your connections and the connected energy of and the connection energy of your sacral chakra, then everything else wouldn't be able to really push through anyways, all the other energy that you're trying to bring in. So you need to start there. If you have already done that, then you just need to make sure that where you currently are, all the connections are strong. If they're not, distance yourself. And then you don't have to force. Nothing is about force. You don't have to force to bring in new connections. Just work on connecting with yourself through that creativity. So that's like where it comes full circle. If you can't seem to find your soul tribe, if you're having issues with your family, if people aren't respecting your boundaries, I've been there where it's just like, no, I couldn't connect with anyone, no one in my family, I couldn't find friends. I felt so isolated. I even had a partner, but I felt more lonely with a partner than I did when I was single. And I was able to just connect with myself through being creative and coming back to the things I enjoyed doing as a child. And it really helped keep me afloat and keep me in my faith. So you just work on connecting with yourself through that creativity, and everything else sort of unfolds. So I hope you move forward from this moment on, remembering to utilize the beautiful energy of all of our chakras, of everything, but especially your sacral chakra. And remember that this is your life. You are here, and you can make it anything you want. Like, have fun with it. Think of it in that expansive, completely with a bird's eye view, far out from another galaxy, looking down on this tiny little earth, on this tiny little you, but also knowing that all that expansiveness that's out there in the galaxies is within you. So you're not only so small and insignificant, but you're also so grand. And knowing that you can move through this world, especially with all the work you've done on yourself and all the healing you've done, you can now actually just be free to become what it is you're always meant to be, simply by listening to the God within you, and have God within you guide you, and just doing the things you love. You just have to do the things you love, and create, and tap into your inner child, and be free. Just remember, you are the creator of your life. And that is what God is making sure you know and embrace and master now. And so it is.